This excerpt was taken from a state legislative town hall on Saturday, March 29. It was held at St. Michael's Episcopal Church in Norman. Thanks to Senator Mary Boren, Representative Rosecrants, Representative Menz, and Representative Deck for their informative participation.
It feels like the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority may be too big to fail. Representative Menz, in what ways can we hold them accountable?
There are many ways. This is a good question. And so I'm working on a few ways. I've got some legislation. I've got friends across the aisle that also have a desire to rein them in. They are out of control. They are out of control. They are trying to push this narrative right now that they're working with us. Oh, we take meetings with the legislators, and we're working on language, and we're working together. They are suing us. They are suing us actively right now because we deigned to pass a bill and override a veto of that bill that would bring them under more legislative scrutiny. They don't want that, obviously. Oh, well, we're just suing because we want clarity. No. They don't want any measure of pushback. And the thing is that the way that they've operated, the way that they are set up, is to avoid public scrutiny. It's to avoid having to answer for themselves. They are not funded by taxpayer dollars. Although some of the stuff that they have to do, some of the things that they need, they do have to ask agencies to do for them. And we're just supposed to let that happen? I don't think so. Because when they came into my office earlier this year to go bill by bill and problem by problem with all of the bills that I had filed against them, oh, we can't have legislative approval every time we need a toll increase because that takes away our autonomy. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah. I mean, if you're a public entity, you're operating in one area, or a private entity, you're operating in one area, you address local concerns if you have them, if you're a smart business. If you're just this big, huge public, conglomerate, public-private thing that nobody really can define because you want to be able to operate in the gray area and have absolutely no oversight, you call that autonomy, I call that corruption. One of the big things that I've been able to work on specifically that I'm really passionate about is eminent domain reform, because whenever we talk about Turnpike, I feel like it could mean something different to each person you talk to. Is it the actual road? Is it my private property rights? Is it the water rights? Is it wildlife? Is it the corrupt way that they go about it? Is it the lack of transparency? So to be able to cover all of those things, it's not impossible. We have to keep having those conversations. I get to work really, really well with some amazing nonprofit groups in my district, Pike Off OTA, Oklahomans for Responsible Transportation. See some members here who are fighting the good fight. And I've been really glad to have their support on some of the eminent domain reform stuff that I've been able to do and am still working on pushing. I think if you see a bill of mine that isn't completely cut and dry and it doesn't have to do directly with Turnpike or OTA, assume that it probably does, because I'm going to make it happen, because this is the issue that I hear the most about. So. Yep.
I think a call to action, in addition to what Representative Menz has said, even if your home is not in the target or in the line of fire, it is still important for you all to stay aware of what the Oklahomans for Responsible Transportation are doing and show up at their events, because their advocacy skill set is really, really growing. I mean, when they first started, they didn't know where to plug in the microphone at the Capitol. They didn't know where to put the speakers. They didn't know, the all this stuff. But now they have a bucket in my office. They can come there. I don't even know when they're coming and going. Sometimes I'll see the Pike people in my office, and they've got their legislative agenda. They're working. They have they have teams of 5. And I would highly recommend, this is one of the most unique, most vibrant, most successful, bipartisan, bicameral all walks of life, libertarian, independent, Republican, all colors of Republican, beet red all the way to pink, and the Democrats. And they are really filtering out that national narrative so that they can save their homes. And I think it's a wonderful example of how we could take back our country if we don't let those people in DC that make a lot of money off of keeping us at each other's throats. And what we see, this has been a more than 2 year thing going on. And it's because of local people holding government accountable without getting divided based on those narratives. So get connected with them now because of Pike Off, or People for Responsible Transportation. Now we have People for Responsible Economic Development with the TIF. And it's the same kind of model, and it's the learning lessons that they've had that they've been able to help each other. So get connected with one of those groups. You'll learn a lot. Your civic engagement will grow, and you'll feel a lot more empowered, and you'll feel a lot less beat down, and you'll know who your people are. So getting connected with those two groups, I think those are two amazing groups to get connected with.
Thank you, Senator.